I'm going to cage what I'm about to say next, because we have, a responsibility when we're talking about sports and college football and people, not to just throw them out and be like, you know what, that was just awful, get rid of them, blah, 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 blah. I find two things can be true with this next comment, Paul. I find Shane Beamer to be a very, very, very likable man. I find Shane Beamer to be very, very, very good for his players. You saw it in the SEC documentary. He is such a warm person to be a part of. Shane Beamer is going to have to answer a lot of questions this morning, how it is even possible to blow a 32-3 lead at halftime and get beaten the way that they did in Texas A&M yesterday. The Aggies, give them all the credit. They had the SEC championship drama on the line. That was one of the most unbelievable things I've ever witnessed on a college football Saturday.
Man, if you're looking at in sports vernacular, like what is the worst thing that can happen? I think we go back, 35 years to the Texans blowing a 31-point lead in a playoff game to the Bills. I was there in 96, walking the back nine with Nick Faldo and Greg Norman when he had a 6-shot lead going into the final round of Augusta. And then there's yesterday. It doesn't. You can lose a game by 4 touchdowns, and if you're down, you just kind of walk. But there's nothing like blowing a lead like that, especially if the number 3 team, especially at their house. And you don't make of the 19 mistakes you make in the second half, you only make 18, you still win the game. But leave it to Shane Beamer to manage to make his team managed to make every one. And by the way, go back about 4 weeks ago, we saw it wasn't nearly as bad, but it was as gruesome when they blew that lead at the end of the game to Alabama.
Teams going back to 2014, if you had a 27-point lead in an SEC game, you were going to win. It was 0 for 286 right. Teams that were down 27 points. South Carolina is now that one. I just don't know, at least this year. Like, look, they've got Clemson, and I get it. They've dominated Dabo of late. But there's a psyche in a locker room that when you're up 30 points against the third-ranked team in the country and you're beating the hell out of them and you're doing whatever you want, you get the police incident in the tunnel with Nick Harbor. You got everybody's on your side. You're like, oh, this is going down. Number 3 is going down. Now we're going to have all these one-loss teams in the SEC. I just don't know how you come back from that this year. Now, I don't think South Carolina is going to move on from Shane Beamer. I don't know that. I mean, look, anything can happen in college football nowadays. But, Paul, that is a tough one to come back from in Columbia with that kind of – that is soul-crushing.
He almost needs to beat Clemson now, and that would be, 3 out of the last 4?
Yep.
That has been his specialty going back a couple of years. He beat a top 10 Tennessee team. He beat A&M last year. But his fan base is more than likely. He's also got another problem, and that's a brand new state-of-the-art AD who I'm sure is looking around. And by the way, Jeremiah Donati is in that new breed of ADs that is plugged into where it's at in college athletics right now. I think he was at TCU, and yeah. he's done an amazing job there. I was on that campus a couple of months ago for a day, a lecture, and it's Matt, you've been there. It's a very impressive place. And Shane Beamer right now, hate to say it, just looks like a loser. There's no getting around it. I don't know how he scrapes that away. 8 weeks ago, people were concerned he might leave for Virginia Tech. That's no longer on the board. He's got a better chance of leaving, being shown the door than he does getting another job.
Yeah, I was with James Franklin on Thursday night. He was at the game I was calling in Virginia, and the fans out there, they're supporting ODU and the local school out there in Norfolk, but there were Virginia Tech people out there that were all but certain that James Franklin was just going to take his car from there to Blacksburg and start making things happen. But certainly, Shane Beamer, I root for him because he's such a good person. But in the business aspect of this, that is not a good look. And if you're Columbia and you're South Carolina and you just came off the season a year ago. You did, and everybody was coming back, including Harbor, including Sellers. You fire Mike Shula. The offense looked good in the first half. Dylan Stewart's out there. I mean, that's going to be a tough one to swallow here for the rest of the season.
You want this, you got that. No way, watch them walk right past you. Run fast while you have